I'm going to talk a little bit today about what I happen to be in the good fortune of my job is working with creative people doing creative things, which is something that I think if I went back and told my younger self this is what you're going to be doing at this age, I'd have been very happy with myself. I feel like I've kind of made it in that way. I don't necessarily do the creative work myself any longer, though I did for a number of years. Now it's more about my job is more about helping a process be formed that allows for creativity and innovation to still happen. So that takes me to this concept that really good creative companies are companies who are empowering their employees to do the kinds of things that we do have employed. And it's psychological safety is what it's called. It's basically that idea that the working group feels there's a level of trust and comfort in each other, that anyone can say anything or do any kind of work, and the small mistakes will be allowed for or accepted, and we all kind of understand that each other's human and it's okay to take some level of risk. So what I help to do is put processes in place that help support two things. First, the relationship building that has to happen where people on the team all trust each other, and that without that level of trust, you kind of like, this guy screwed up, now can we trust him ever again, is what will happen. And then people sensing that they're not trusted to come back from a fall, from a mistake, they'll stop taking those risks, and then you stop innovating, that's bad too. So that level of relationship building, I talk a lot about what helps people form relationships that allow for some level of trust. And the second thing I do is help to put processes in place that also support that level of trust. Obviously, if you're talking about risk taking, no company that means you're going to have failures. So the system, I'm an agile coach, so what I talk about is, or what I help to do, is put in processes that allow for that experimentation time and that failure. Now, how does this affect you in your life? The level of that ability to form strong bonds that allow for some level of mistakes to happen, and the trust to still be there between people on that team, translates into relationships and personal life. Like, you have to have an ability to trust your partner that they're not going to totally screw the pooch on your family finances, on your personal well-being, the way that they're not trying to undercut you in your confidence level, all those kinds of things that are necessary in a trusting relationship. The things I talk about for a work environment completely translate into things that should exist in a healthy relationship. And that is recognizing that, hey, it's okay that some level of mistakes are made, accepting or assuming generously that the person who's making a decision is not making it with any kind of malicious intent, that you yourself are open to the idea that, hey, I've made a mistake, that I talked to you earlier about securely vulnerable, but coming forward and announcing, might not be right with this, or that might have been a mistake that I made. Like, saying that out loud allows for the people around you to recognize and that you're someone who's open to the idea of you could be mistaken and you can take some feedback in that way. If you never have that ability to say, I might have been wrong, or that didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. If you don't have that ability to do that, people will generally not open themselves up to you, and even they're basically going to read you as someone who is inflexible, hardened, and not willing to compromise, which is a bad place to be inside of a work relationship or a personal relationship. So I don't know where any of this is going necessarily. I don't know if this is helpful for you. I would say there are great resources out there that'll talk more in depth about psychological safety and how it affects you in the workplace and how it affects you in your relationships outside of work. If you feel like you're struggling with this area of either people don't signal to you that they trust you, or you yourself are having a hard time trusting the people around you in a work environment, a lot of what psychological safety talks about is that, hey, work and life, they're really kind of the same thing. For most of the population, those things are entwined, and you shouldn't try to necessarily treat one like one way and one like the other, but instead treat them the same way. Treat them the same. Anyways, if you find yourself in any of those areas, look up some of those videos about psychological safety. That's the term you're looking for, and watch some. You'll find some really, really good ones out there, and perhaps this will help you strengthen your relationships both in work and at home. And that's my video. Cheers.